Recently, we were talking about recycling in our buildings, where oftentimes we as tenants will come up to recycle or dispose of our trash in the proper bins, and we find that unlike what we would hope to find, we find that the bins are filled with the wrong stuff. There may be plastic and cans and bottles in the compost bin, and there may be compost and stinky diapers or something in the recycling bin, and there's all sorts of stuff. And very often it's just a big mess. As far as I know, a lot of this stuff could probably be prevented by education. So we're going to talk to one of my friends here. She lives in the building, and we're going to try to find out what she thinks about how we, as neighbors, can take care of our messes. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you in a bit. Bye. Hello, neighbors. I'm Matthew Paul Mays, and this is 6th Street News, a news source for those housed or unhoused. Well, if you're like me, you probably made a lot of New Year's resolutions this year, and if you're like me, you might end up breaking them a little bit too early. So my trick is my first resolution is to stick to my resolutions. It started the year off right. I got a nice haircut, kind of got a nice little hairdo going there. Started the year off right. I got on my mountain bike, which is an important thing to do because I need to get more exercise, get outside, get a little bit healthier. That's a big thing. And, if you're like me, we always say this about our diet. Oh, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to change my diet. This is the year that I'm going to finally change my diet and start eating more greens and vegetables and fruit. In fact, this morning I even had a couple bananas and an avocado, so I feel I started this year off pretty well. But the main resolution, the one that I want to share with you, my guests, and the viewers out here, is to become a better recycler. I do okay. I take my plastic bottles to a recycling center and a little bit of money that way. And there's a gentleman in my building who collects cans, aluminum cans, and he recycles those. And of course, there's a nice place to bring our cardboard and our newspaper, that kind of stuff, and properly. And for me, I don't produce a lot of compost. But those little green bags that they have, I barely need one. But anyways, I think I'm pretty good at recycling, but I will have to admit, there are times when I'm either in too big of a hurry or just too dang lazy to where I just take all my garbage, throw it all together, and clump it that way. So anyways, my new resolution this year is to try to be a better recycler. And, I have a mentor, someone who's been helping me a lot with recycling. I look up to her a lot. She's always there to help me out in all sorts of situations, which is cool to have a friend like that. Anyways, she's going to help us talk a little bit about the recycling and that kind of stuff. So anyways, I'd like to introduce to you guys my friend Lisa Whitney. Hello, Lisa Whitney.
Hello, Matthew.
How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Good to see you again.
What about your New Year's resolutions? You got any New Year's resolutions?
No, I don't, because why bother? I mean, I plan to be a better person and kinder and a little. Well, usually it's work on my patience. Because that's important.
Yeah. So what about recycling? Are you a big recycler?
I'd like to say that it's not just about recycling. Yeah. It's about caring for each other and our planet. Mother Nature, our world's not getting any bigger. So it's not just about recycling, which is really it's always been important. Reduce, reuse, recycle. But it's about taking the time to pay attention to what we use, where we buy it, the containers that it's in. But for the general population, which is like who we're talking with, is the basic grocery store items. And so it just really is important to me personally, because I care about the planet. It's not a personal thing against you. If I say like, hey, that's not the garbage can, you might want to put it over here when it's right next to it. It's really that simple. It's that simple. In my building, there are the three colors: the green, the blue, and the black, and they're right next to each other. So it's if you just pay attention for a millisecond, we'd know where to put it instead of just throwing it somewhere. And in our and I like to say also, I commend you on more fruits and vegetables. That's awesome, and it's very healthy and it's a proper way because to incorporate health into our lifestyle. And there's nothing like a juicy peach, right? But I think your little green compost bags should be filled with your potato skins and your orange peels and any food items only go in the green bag. It's very important. You can't, just because it's in a green bag does not mean it's compostable. Like some of our neighbors do that. They put anything they want in the green bag and think it's compostable. That's not true. A lot of buildings are incorporating this lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, because this is the style of my life. Into their refuse, taking away your trash. Most of the buildings now do that because it is like mandated. I don't feel like it has to be the law. It's just and it reflects on each of us how we care about ourselves, and then from there, I care about our building, our neighbors, and then from there about our planet, which is the most important to me. That's the most important thing. I'm really connected with Mother Nature, and as she is with me, and it just shows. It shows. I take pride in it. And a lot of my neighbors, they're like, they try to diss me. I'm like, oh, I don't care, because I am a recycle lady. I don't care. It's important to me. If you pay attention to all these things that are going on in our beautiful, beautiful world, to not care is really being a coward.
So what kind of problems do you find typically when you go to the recycling bin? Is there some kind of common thing that you find? Are people actually trying their purpose? Or have you seen people abuse the system, throw the trash completely in the wrong thing like I have?
Well, I would say abusing the system like you have. You say you put it all together and put it on the chute. That's not.
No.
That's not abuse. That's just.
No, what I mean is, when you come to the compost bin, say you're going to throw your compost or garbage away. Mm-hmm. Do you ever encounter somebody who's putting the wrong stuff in the wrong bin?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, it's to me it is a sign of laziness and not caring about yourself or your planet. Okay, you might hear me say these things a few times during this interview. To me again, it's so simple. It's so simple. If it's plastic, okay, think about this. Compost would be something that you would put till in the dirt to raise your fruits and vegetables, to raise your garden, something that can be used again in that manner to grow something. Plastic is the opposite. That's anything except food, or a paper plate with food on it, or tree limbs. Anything but those things it's not compost. And recycling, think about it this way. In recycling, you can't recycle food, so the food doesn't go in the blue bin. Recycling things would be like your soda cans and your plastic bottles. So many items can be in the recycle bin, not food. And unfortunately, many people think that potato chip bags and candy wrappers, because it's silver on the inside, it's not aluminum. So no, those things are unfortunately not able to be recycled. So I look forward to a world in the future when some of those that are in authority are gone, and we can readjust the factories, the plants that not the plant, but the factory plants that will manufacture no more styrofoam. It's very handy. Yes, it's very handy. But look, since the 50s, look at what's happened with all these people that are in charge, and willy-nilly just wanting to make money with their chemicals, and knowing that it's going to harm in the future. I mean, don't they realize they have grandkids? Don't they realize that that it's not good for the ocean? It's not good. I saw the other day. I'm very, very excited. A beer company is making an edible, the plastic part that holds it together. They're making an edible holder for the cans. So it showed the little dolphin in the ocean going, oh, and looking at it, but it's edible. It can be done. It can be done, and things that can. I emailed. I'm going to mention a name, Snack Pack, because Snack Pack, a lot of kids take that. I love Snack Pack pudding. I used to, but they don't. Their little containers, they're not recyclable. There's no triangle on it. If you see a triangle on something, it basically can go in the blue bin. Most styrofoams, they're not. We don't have the plants here yet to do that. But like that would not. I just put that in the landfill. But most things with a triangle can be. So I emailed Snack Pack. Why aren't you billions and billions of snack packs a day? Why don't you use a recycling thing? They actually emailed me back and said, thank you for your interest. At this time, our containers are working just fine, and we have no plans in the future to. that perplexes me. So I did some research, and by just going to the grocery store and looking at all the items that are just similar that are compostable, like Dole's compostable. Most people now, most companies now do have stepped up and do the right thing. It's recyclable. Also, I like to say, I do the best I can. I do the best I can, and I believe the triangle. I believe in doing the best I can in my little world, which would be me, and Oliver. Hi, Oliver, my little turtle. Me, and then my building, and then my community, and then the city, and then the world at large. I do the best I can with my recycling, composting. I try to be proper. I'm not always perfect, of course not, but I try to be proper. Where it goes from there, that's really not up to me. You know, I don't know when to put my compost in my green bag. If it's gonna, I don't know where it's going, but I'm doing the best I can for me and the world. You know, and that's really all we can do is do the best we can, the know-how, and be proud of taking that step. Be proud of taking that step to be, hey, you know, I'm doing a good thing because I'm not just throwing my trash all willy-nilly on the streets. And you know what really irks me? The trash cans in the city have been taken away from, well, we used to have 4 on each corner in my neighborhood. There's 0 now. And I do not like littering. Cigarette butts are the biggest litterer in the whole world. I smoke cigarettes. I try to always look for it. There's none around. I always say, sorry, I'm littering. I have to put it out, put it somewhere. And I don't like that. So I think trash receptacles are important to utilize. And again, I can't help when it leaves me and what I've done, what I feel is proper. I can't help what happens after that. I'm hoping that they're going to do the right thing with it. And also, when we throw something, like if we throw a potato chip bag in the recycle bin or the compost bin, because I don't care. So, well, realize, okay, you went to the store and you got that and you enjoyed that, okay, and then by you doing it in which you know is the wrong place, you're just saying that you don't care about yourself or anybody. Remember, down the line, there's somebody that's going to have to be like in the building. Someone's going to be going through that bin and separating. Then from there, somebody when it goes to the recycling place, someone's going to be taking care of that as well. Do you really want somebody else taking care of? Be an adult, grow up, and teach the children and love the children in the world.
Yeah, well, you know, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there. I have a question though. Say if you encounter a person that is severely mentally ill in our building, someone who they're oblivious to what their problem is. And you might see that they, you know, how can we get those kind of people to help us? Is there some way we can get public service?
It's very simple.
Or something?
It's called communication and talking with the person. Hey, I noticed that maybe you don't know. Well, I'm pretty good at that, and I have encountered, you know, and I just try to be very diplomatic and friendly. Just be friendly and say, hey, did you know that, or I find that this really helps out, and this goes in here, you know, and mentally challenged, like we all are, is not it doesn't mean that you're not intelligent in other ways, you know, and so I believe that everybody would like to be a good person and be help, you know. And so for me, what's worked has just be friendly and say, hey, I'd like to help you out here. Hey, can I teach you a couple of things? Would you like to learn about this? I know a few things. Would you like to learn? You know, can I share with you my knowledge or what we do? And again, for the world, for the earth, for Mother Earth, you know, and just put it like that. And so most people, I would say, are into that. I think.
I got a question now. This is something that's kind of irritating the heck out of me, basically, is China's not taking our plastic anymore. What are we going to do with our plastic? Do you think there's any industry in America that can come up and recycle this stuff? Or what's going to happen to all that plastic? I don't know. Do you have any idea what's going to happen to all that plastic?
That is a very good question.
Oh, good.
That's a very good thought.
Yeah.
That is so true. Well, again, okay, when we do our recycling, everybody needs to be accountable, and the last person accountable is the person putting the things on the ship, sending it somewhere else. China doesn't want that anymore because many of our items are just not separated, and there's too much food in the recycled what do you call it, the big ship. There's too much plastic in the well, we have our own compost, it's okay, but there's too much. This is not, it's not done properly.
Right,
And I don't-
contamination.
Yeah, contamination and
Yeah,
cross. Yes,
right,
correct.
right, yeah.
That's why. So I'm not going to get political at all, but I would really like to see in this country, United States, I would like to see more things made in the United States. I would like to see the factories here that were able to be to take the plastics in and make our fleece jackets and make the little the spongy stuff in the playgrounds. Yeah, and it's capable. It's able to be done. I just feel that there's too many people that want money in their companies to pay attention and to. It's all the little independent ones that have started this, and the big ones are starting to pay attention because that's lucrative too. Coming into like this new decade, this new going on, we're going to keep going on. Let's make it proper. Let's make it good. Let's make it better. Let's care. Let's care.
So, okay, so 2020, it's a new decade. You and me, we've been looking forward to, a lot of stuff. And, actually what I'd like to tell the audience a little bit is how you and I get to know each other a little bit, because you remember we did voting, we did the polling
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
That was kind of cool.
That was awesome.
Learning how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And also you've inspired me to, be a better recycler, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day, I hate to tell the audience this, but one of my dear friends, our dear friend, recently passed away, little Eddie Sanchez.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah, so little Eddie Sanchez passed away. I forgot to tell you that Sunday, tomorrow morning, I forgot what time, but at the Golden Cane, they're going to do a memorial about little Eddie.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit what your impression is about little Eddie?
Little Eddie. From the moment I met him, I always liked him. He's a character, and he apparently is a well-known character in the Haight. And I knew him from living in our building, and when you live around someone, you see the little quirks, you live with them, and it might not always be the best thing that you look for in a person, so you might vibe them. But I always adored him. Whenever he would show me something, he goes, Lisa, come here. I want to show you something. And I always praised him, and because everybody needs a boost. It's fun, it's good. He at his memorial at Hospitality House, the Art Center on Market Street. I was just so, my heart filled with such joy because living with him and hearing neighbors like neg vibe him, and all the love that poured out for him at this memorial, and the other artists and the musicians and his children, grandchildren, and sister. It was just such love, and so when I spoke, I mentioned that, and I said, "This is so wonderful to be in a room full of just love about Eddie, because my building wasn't so kind to him." What I shared was, "Yep, he spills a lot of coffee, doesn't he? He always spilled coffee, fill to the brim and walk around.
He
He
sure
sure
did,
did,
yeah.
huh?" And so what? He's dirty. He was the kindest person. He was funny. He was kind. He was humorous. I never had a bad interaction with Eddie. One time, but I was able to speak with him. I said, "Eddie, that wasn't very nice." And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Just talk to people. It's really simple." Anyway, back to Eddie. I look forward to tomorrow morning. But find out what time.
Yeah, because I got to go to church in the morning. I go
Okay.
to church.
Okay.
I'd also like to talk a little bit about your passion for the community, how you reach out. You seem to be very active in the community. You know a lot of the folks there, that, very compassionate. That's what I'm impressed with. That's what my goal is, to become a better steward of the neighborhood, to see what I can do myself. And what I'd like to know is what kind of things do you think about the neighborhood as far as you, me, working together? Things are getting better, don't you think, in our neighborhood?
I do.
Do you?
It's always a flow. Life is a flow.
Yeah,
Life is a
life's a
dance.
flow.
It's a dance. We're dancers. Life is a flow. So it's better, worse. It's yin yang. It's a balance. I try to look and help be on the positive side. Because if believe me, I cry a lot. I cry a lot. About the injustices, and I care because because it's in me. Because I really don't like people. I don't like people. Humans are can be. But I do care about my surroundings, and then I go from there to at large because it matters, and it's just in me. It's just in me. I like to walk down the street and say, acknowledge folks, and that's being a good neighbor. You want somebody have your back when you are maybe in trouble. Think about that. And I try to be a good neighbor. I try to be kind. I try to do the best I can. And if people don't want to, I had one of our neighbors just nag by me yesterday, hollering at me in the hallway because I was at the recycle bin doing my thing. And I said, "Oh, this is not a garbage can. It's right here." They shoot. Well, I'm not that. Okay, so and I just stood there and took it, but I just shook my head like, "Okay, for what?" And your question was like being an ambassador. Yes, I work with the community. I'm involved a lot in the community, especially because I live there. I live on 6th Street, so there's so much services and things going on that I like to have my little my nose in not in your business, but I know what's going on. I want to know what's going on.
And I think also you're like me. I love my neighborhood. Some people may want to say something about the 6th Street corridor, 6th Street, this or that, but I love where I live, and I love my neighbors, and I love where we're at today and our future, where we can, if we're family, we'll stick together a little bit. But that's what I love about 6th Street and the Bayanean House. I love the name of that place. It means to work together.
Community working together.
Community working together. And that's kind of like you, me, and a lot of other folks. So, I have to commend you that I think it's kind of neat that you and I are buddies, that we can do stuff like this. And that I look up to you as kind of like my older sister a little bit. My little sister, I better say, right? I better watch out. Anyways, no.
Age doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing. Anyways, listen, it's been really fun having you here today, teaching me some stuff. Okay, we're pretty much finished.
Well, not just you, because we can talk at home, but our enhanced audience and other parts. I hope also that someone has good things from this interview that I did help. It's nice to be nice and be kind.
Great. Well, great to have you along here. And, that's it. This is my friend, Miss Lisa. She's always been really nice and helped me out a lot. My second production here at BAVC, Bay Area Video Coalition. Hi, camera. I know you're there. SF Commons. Going to be distributed all across the Bay Area, this program, and hopefully we'll see you again. 6th Street News, a news source for those housed or unhoused. This is Matthew Mays. Thank you for your time. Love to see you again. All right. Thank you, Lisa.
You can wait a second, all right? Jesus Christ.
Hey, can you tell me a little bit about your sign and your bag here?
Well, I just have the bag. Maybe we should move.
No, that's okay.
I got displaced out of my apartment. I have about 2 weeks until I move into my new apartment, and I do odd jobs and handiwork from my cart. So I have tools and some wood set aside. I try to do as much as I can. Things that I find I give away to other homeless people who need them more than I do. That's about how I go through my days until I move into my place. I served for 12 years in the United States Marine Corps. Did 3 tours in OEF in Afghanistan. I don't deal with the VA for personal reasons, so this is kind of the hard way, but it's working. Till I was homeless, starting a little over a month ago, I had no idea how bad it was. I had no idea how many people were displaced and were outside. But it's pretty rampant. It's every neighborhood you go to, there's at least a small population of homeless, people who, for whatever reason, can't be inside.
What do you need to be housed? What's the steps you're going to take to become housed?
Oh, it depends on who you are. Like, I have a HUD-VASH voucher. It just took a couple of years to get it to go through. I had to meet certain criteria. I know that there's housing available for people out there, but there's generally waiting lists.
Hospitality House has been in the neighborhood for more than 50 years. Our community arts program actually celebrated its 50th anniversary this year. We've been, we're a unique social enterprise here in that we provide workshops, studio space, exhibitions and themed shows, and the artists get to keep 100% of the proceeds from the sales of their work. So we're really invested in, having arts as a viable economic activity and kind of the keeper of community culture.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about the 6th Street? Is it starting to change a little bit? 6th Street is, from what it was once to what it is now, or do you see any changes going on? 6th and Market, anything like that?
Well, changes are happening throughout the neighborhood. I think some good, some not so good. I think there's always a struggle for any community to hang on to the essence of that community, what makes it vibrant and what actually makes it a community. We've seen a lot of development coming into the community that has not been as positive for the residents who live here now. We're all for uplifting and improving a neighborhood, but it's got to be for the benefit of the folks who live here, who have set down roots here, and families have made their lives here and the connections here. Those people need to be supported and valued and nurtured as we develop and grow.
Here at Sunday Streets with St. Anthony's, and this is a celebration that happens twice a year where they close down the street, and it's a great experience for the community. And we have our social work center and our free clothing program here across the street that are connecting folks to services if need be, and then a lot of fun games for the kids, and snow cones and bubbles and streamers and popcorn, and then a free meal at the dining room if people would like it. We were founded in 1950, so we've been in this neighborhood for a long time and really seen the changes in the city of San Francisco and the changes in this neighborhood. But yes, we pride ourselves on being very connected to the community, listening, and trying to determine the needs of the community and meeting those needs.
Over here. Free parking. Come on down. And just for you, I have a pretty pink color. Because I feel like you like pink, which are so much colors over there. Okay. I'm August. I'm doing this as a volunteer. I do volunteer work at the Tenderloin Rec, but this is called Magic Marble Painting. What we do is take a simple soda case box here. We put a piece of construction paper inside, hopefully of a pretty color. And then, let me demonstrate. We put a construction paper in here, and we take a cup of paint, non-toxic paint here, with a big marble. We encourage the children and the parents to monitor their kids. We use the marble, we scrunch around the paint, and then what we do is we slowly take the marble out with a spoon, we put it in the box, and then we lift the box, tilt it left and right, and we make a design. It's more or less a sensory activity, and then we encourage the children to change colors. We have purple, blue, yellow, green, and red. They change colors, and they make an incredible photo, and they get a few prizes here. And then they hang it up on our art rack right here. We have an art rack. It's a really professional one, and we, invite them to come back later. And I always wait about half an hour or so afterwards, because there's always that one little kid who comes up and says, "Mister, where's my picture?" So I wait a while afterwards. And this is a thing for the community. I get to meet the people, the kids, and it's all about having fun in a safe environment. And I'm August Lopez, from Hawaii originally, but I'm just having fun here.